So this is my Ford Probe GT, and in today's episode I'm finally giving it the treatment that it deserves.
I've had this car for a couple of years now, and I always had the same problem with the paint. Even after I wash the car, the white paint looks a little yellow, and even though it doesn't pick up on camera, I want it to be bright white. And it does become that color after polishing, but after a few months or so, it slowly fades away. And next to that, I want the paint to be protected and of course very shiny.
So I did try a couple of other things already, from which I found that waxing the car actually helps quite a bit. But today I'm going to try something new, which is ceramic coating the car. So garage is now clean. Next up is to clean the car in this horrible weather, but that's something that we have to do. So let's go outside and clean the car.
So I wasn't really looking forward to cleaning the car right now, but some warm water really made it more pleasant to do so, and to be honest, it wasn't too bad in the end. So I'm using some dish soap to strip the car of its old wax layers, and normally I would just use some decent non-degreasing soap to not strip the wax layers, but right now that's what had to be done. This car has been repainted once in its life, and you can definitely tell that it wasn't a very expensive paint job. So even though this paint won't ever be 100% perfect, I've been working on getting it somewhere close. And in the previous months, I've been wet sanding, polishing, and even repainting parts of the car. So the paint now looks really good and it's almost done. And this is therefore sort of the final step in my plan. Polishing the car one more time before sealing it with a really good coating that will protect all of my current and my previous hard work.
So this car has been treated really well in the past, which is why it's almost completely scratch free. And therefore I'm not going to use a medium or a coarse polishing method, because that just takes off more paint than needed. Because of course polishing takes off paint. So therefore I'm going to use some of this, which is Rupe's ultra fine polishing paste. So the main idea is not to really polish the paint, but more to sort of exfoliate the paint, if that makes any sense. And then after doing that, we can get back in and see if we need to touch up on any scratches or sort of that stuff, just to take off as little paint as possible before coating the car.
So I started off by taping any black trim that's sensitive to stain from polishing, just to avoid those white marks that you often see. And then it was finally time to start polishing, and please note that I'm no professional for sure. I just like to try new things and gain new skills by doing so. So if you like that sort of thing, I would really appreciate a follow, as it does help me to grow this channel and do more fun stuff. Some of the tighter or smaller places were polished by hand, as the machine could damage some of the trim, just to be safe of course, and I could really feel my hands and fingers after all of this was done. And polishing by hand actually works decent as well, but it does tend to come out a bit more shinier with the machine polisher. I don't know why actually, but it just seems to be that way. So after each pass, I'm wiping everything down to see how the paint turned out, and if I need to come back to actually remove any scratches. And I did try to do a nice 50-50 shot, which sort of shows the yellow glow that I'm trying to remove. And what it also shows is the difference in shine between the spoiler and the boot lid or trunk. So it's part like this that needed a follow-up with some coarser polishing method, which you see me doing with the yellow pad. You can definitely tell the high impact areas like door handles have got a little more scratches than other parts, but that's no problem because they quickly disappear with the medium cut compound. And after the medium cut, of course, I'm refining with the finer cut compound just to give it that proper shine that I want. So bit by bit, the car is looking more and more perfect, and I'm also trying to make sure to pay attention to the details, like small parts of the mirror, but also in little gaps in between the side marker lights, so you will see me removing those. And after spending around 7 hours on polishing and fixing every little scratch that I could find, it was about time to move on.
All right, so polishing, check off the list. Next up is degreasing and then coating the car. So I did something, and it's a good job that I did. It's something that I almost never do. For once, I thought I might as well read the instructions. And it's a bit more, well, not difficult, but let's say advanced than I initially thought. So basically, after applying the coat, you want to wait about 1 to 2 minutes, or well, basically as soon as it starts to flash, and then buff it off and wait around 60 minutes until you apply the next coat, which I think I'm gonna do 2 coats, but I'm not really sure yet. We'll just see how much we have left in the bottle, basically.
So as it turns out, drying time and application techniques vary quite a bit from waxing a car, but that's okay. I'm just glad that I read the instructions. So I'm using a coating by Cquartz called the UK 3.0, and it comes with the coating itself in a small glass bottle next to another product that's called Reload. And Reload is designed to help with the longevity and the hydrophobic qualities of the coating, and it needs to be applied after coating and then every year or so, just to, of course, reload the coating. The kit also comes with microfiber applicator pads as well as a small cloth to buff any remains of the car.
So as you can see, it's now getting dark, it is dark outside. And I'm actually working through the evening and maybe the night to get this fully done, because I don't have that much time in the garage, and the coating also needs to harden for a couple of days. So I'm going to start with the trunk because no particular reason. I just fancy starting with the trunk, so let's do that.
So as you might be able to tell, I'm getting pretty tired, and I even forgot to put on my mask, so even though there was some ventilation, I made sure to use it for the second coat since I want to be safe, of course. And I'm degreasing, cleaning and then coating almost everywhere, so that's why you might see me working inside all of the jams just to be sure that I coated everything. I'm applying the coating in 2 directions, which should allow the coating to get in all of the pores of the paint, as well as making sure that I don't miss any parts by accident. And I was a bit scared at first, but sure got the hang of it in the end, getting more comfortable while working with this product, just putting it on, waiting for the rainbow and then buffing it off. But there still was a lot of work to be done, so for now, sit back, relax and enjoy the process.
I keep waiting for you to call. I'm thinking that I'm gonna need a miracle. Wasted again, I tell my friends I'm feeling like you're coming, cause I feel the sun. I'm waiting for the special touch you give. I'm needing it more than I ever did. I don't wanna be a sacrifice in love. For you I will.
And finally, after a very long day, I was done. And would you just look at the results that I got in the morning? So I cannot stress how amazing the paint looks already, and I still have to apply reload. And sure, there are always things to whine about, but I like to think that this is the best that this car has looked since it came off the showroom floor back in 1988. So the fact that I did all of this myself with just a few days of work, well, that's something to be proud of, at least I think so. And applying reload is very easy. You just spray it on, spread it out, and after it dries, or about 2 minutes, then you can buff it off. And can we just admire the shine one more time, because this might be the best looking white paint I've seen in a very long time. So of course I made sure to also treat separate parts with the coating and the reload. And I even polished the side markers before doing so they look amazing as well. And after those were popped back in place, I continued with some other bits that needed a coating.
And that right there is a complete coating done. Now it's on to the windows. They also need to be coated, but luckily those are a bit less difficult. So actually, before coating the windows, there's something that has been bothering me for quite some time now. I don't know if you guys are able to see it, but just above the window strip, there's this little like haze. It's on the glass. If you can tell me what this is, please let me know in the comment section, because I've got no clue how this appears. But for now, I think I'm gonna try to come in with the razor blade and maybe scratch it off, or maybe just buff it off with a towel and some polishing paste. We'll just see how that goes, and then we'll get on to coating the windows.
So the polishing paste worked pretty well, but it took a lot of elbow grease, so I might just use a little Dremel or something if this ever occurs again. And if you know what this stuff is and why it happens just at this little edge, I'm happy to learn, so please let me know in the comments down below. When coating the windows, I use the same method for the paint, but with a different type of coating. It's basically just something that I had laying around, but it works pretty well. And also very important is to apply the coating from bottom to top.
So why that is actually better, I don't know, but that's just what the instructions told me, so I'm just following up on those. So these lights have been also bothering me for quite some time now. I don't know why it happened, but this one is quite clear actually, as you can just see, but the other one is sort of brown darky. So it might just be that some water got into it. I don't know, but we'll open it up and see if we can make it nice and bright again. So probably the main reason why this started leaking is because we had to put in this orange bulb right here. You can probably just about see it. That has to do with regulations and stuff a few years back, and since then they have gone and changed. But yeah, that's probably the reason why this light started leaking in the first place. Okay, so a quick change of plans. I'm actually not going to cut open the light, but I'm just going to look for a replacement unit because I don't want to damage this one and then not being able to find another one because it isn't broken. It's just a bit cloudy and browny and stuff like that. So I put it back in its place and that should just do it for now, even though it's a bit ugly. So that's basically it for today. The car looks amazing and it's incredibly shiny, so that's all I ever wanted basically. So if you like this sort of content, please drop a like or a follow down below, and I hope to see you next time, and thank you so much for watching.